Hey, welcome to our study today from Mark chapter 12. Here is our paragraph that recaps the chapter. Jesus and the Jewish leaders battle in this chapter. It begins with the parable of the vineyard workers. They attack the owner's delegates and eventually kill his son. The result was wrath from the Father and the destruction of the murderers. The Jews know Jesus is talking about them, so they send inquisitors to try and trap Jesus in his words. They ask him about paying poll taxes to Caesar. Jesus responds by saying to give Caesar his taxes. They ask about a 7-time widow and her marriage in heaven. Jesus responds with divine wisdom about eternity. They ask about the greatest commandment, and he responds perfectly with the law of love. These prideful men are set in contrast with the humble widow who contributes all that she has to God. Let's explore that contrast just a little bit more. The widow at the end is praised by Jesus because her devotion to God is real and it's sacrificial. She is fully committed to God, while many others only give out of their surplus. She is the opposite of the Jewish leaders. The parable at the beginning is about killing the son of the owner so that they can have the vineyard. This motivation is selfishness and greed. All their questions for Jesus are about diminishing him so that they don't have to submit. Their main priority is themselves and what they can get and keep. We are challenged to be less like them and more like the widow at the end. It cannot be about us and him. We must choose him even over ourselves. 3 questions today. How does your life change when you see yourself as belonging to God instead of seeing God and his creation as merely gifts for you? Number 2, the Jews asked hard questions of Jesus. We may ask some as well. What is the right way to approach your king when asking for clarity? Hopefully a lot differently than they did. And then finally, most believers are somewhere between the ones giving out a surplus and the widow who gave all that she had. How do we grow in this area? That's something Jesus challenges us to do often. Let's finish this morning with a brief prayer. Benevolent Father, you are a gracious gift giver, and we have all that we could ever need. Help us to see this in Jesus and his church, and to flee the temptation to be greedy and worldly. The Pharisees turned against Jesus because he sought a seat of authority in their hearts that they wanted for themselves. Father, forgive our selfish thinking and any greed and envy that is born of it. Train us to trust Jesus and never to question his wisdom. Humble us to be like the widow, freely giving all that we have to you. Full surrender. That's the only way to the greatest of blessings. I pray that helps you today, and thank you once again for following along.